Aloha, great job today. Just gonna lay this out in brass tacks because we're not gonna see each other for the next week or two. So here's the concept. What we learned today is to take what we learned last week, the scales, which use the C major scale. Let's say we're just doing our fretboard from here. We're doing the open phrasing, so we have C, open D, E, F, open G, A, open B, and C. Those are our primary notes for our C scale. So the concept here is when we play these notes, all the other notes that are a part of that scale that would be influenced, like the E, still is an E, it's part of C major. It has a C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then C. When I say this, I mean that C and C are the same. We could call this an 8, or we could call it a 1. I prefer to call it a 1 because I view the 1 and the 1 the same, because every octave is what we're trying to get to understand is that when we play a 1, it's a major chord, and it has a happy mentality. The 2, the 3, and the 6 have a minor mentality, meaning they sound kind of unhappy or melancholy. But the 1, the 4, and then the 5, they most definitely are majors and sound very happy, which is why chord progressions that are like Louie Louie, 1 1 1 4 4 5 5 5 4 4 1 1 1 4 4 5 5 5 4 4, they have a major tonality. There are no minor chords in there. So what we're learning this week from last week is that the chords associated with the scales are C major, that we spell by taking a 1 3 5. So when I do this, I'm quite literally meaning the first 5 notes of the C major scale. C is my thumb, D is my pointer finger, E is my middle finger, F is my ring finger, and the pinky is my 5th. C to G is a shaka. It's a 5th. So when we put the E in there and I do this, we have 1 3 5. That spells a major chord. Our major chord is a 1 3 5. In the key of C, it gives me a C, E, and a G. The next chord that we get by doing the same thing and shifting that 1 3 5 over gives me a D. Skip the E, we hit an F. Skip the G, we hit an A. So my next chord isn't a major, it's a minor. Because what we're learning is the difference between a D major, which looks and feels like this shape, E string, B string, A string, and then flattening our 3rd to go back to the 1st fret for the F note. So then our D minor looks like this. And I know we're kind of working along this, D minor here. The difference between the two is the major 3rd. So when I have an F here, if I were to sharpen that 3rd to a natural 3rd, I could even put the natural note if we want, but there's no need to. It's already consumed. We would then have a D major. That F natural that was at the 1st fret would go to the 2nd fret, thusly giving you your triangle bass shape. We're trying to draw together these concepts. However, that's a D. In the key of C major, there is no D spelling. Why? There's no F sharp. So D, F, A is our next chord. When we're playing this mode or this scale, what I want you to see this week is that you can play a C major chord, you can play a D minor chord, you have the option of having that F note there as well. You can then go to your next chord, which I hope you're following along with me. This is the E minor. It's spelled by playing a 1 3 5. Now let's do it again. Put up our hands, get rid of the 2 and 4. Our triads keep moving over because this is a spelling. So we have E, skip the F, play the G, skip the A, play the B. So in E minor, spelling is an E, G, B. F major is F-A-C, G major is G-B-D, A minor is A-C-E, B diminished is B-D-F. And the reason why I know all those is they're all the letters that are in the key spelling. Now, when we go to different key signatures, they have different spellings, which is why we have sharps and flats in different keys, and they're hard to understand. But the idea is, when we learn how to play a scale starting at our C, that is our C major. So what I'd like you to do is play a couple different notes, maybe back and forth, up and down with your pick, alternating picking, maybe da 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 da, up and down just on that string, the A string, giving us 1, E, and A. That's how we're going to count these. And then we're just going to go up through our chords. Now, I know that you know these chords because this is an E minor, that's a D minor, that's a C major. 1 is major, 2 is minor, 3 is minor, and then the F is major. So when we go to this F major, we know that it's going to have a major tonality. If we were spelling it, we would know that the triad we're making is an FAC. F is my 4, skip the 5, we play the 6, skip the 7, we play the 1. FAC. So when we have an FAC, we bar the whole first line, we play, the next note is going to be the A, then we move that up to the F and the C. A bar chord at the first fret, and then playing an E major shape will give you an F major bar chord. So I'm going to put first bar right there. That just means first of the bar chord. I could also erase that, make it easier, and just put first right here. Cool. The next chord inside here is going to be a G. So we're going to go to the G major. And I know you know this one. I just want to write it out again. 3rd fret, 2nd fret, and then 3rd fret up top. That gives us our spelling of a G major. And what I like you to do is when you're going through here and you go C, 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 which would look like this. I can do it on this right here. On the ook, we'd have C, 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 C. I like you to use your pick and go up, down, up, down, up, down. So it would look more like this. Do, 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 do. Do it a couple times, maybe 8, 10 times, and then play a full C major chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do, 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 do. Then when you play the D, 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 and then you play the D minor, the chord that you play over the top of that would be this. So play the root note of the chord in 16ths, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Play the whole chord and then switch. Do that through the whole process of seeing the next note goes to an A minor. All the while, what you're doing is you're working on your chord shapes and a little bit of rhythm. It's the next thing to do after our teeter-totters. Teeter-totters are going to keep going on forever. And then what I wanted to do is show you the actual B diminished. In practice, we did the B half diminished because I thought it would be a little bit easier. However, I do want you to see this for being something pretty cool. When we play our B diminished, we're going to want to have a B note, a D note, and an F note. So if we had these two, we're probably just going to not play that low. An X represents that, and then we're not going to play the E here either. We do, however, want this B note, which is right here. We can have this D note, but what I'd like to do is I'd like to substitute that D note for the F note. And then what happens is we would have a fuller, more prominent note that is being played as a result of that, okay? We can also see that this is going to be our G, G sharp, A, and then A sharp, so that doesn't work. Because what we're really wanting is the B, the D, and the F. So if we play this note up here, we're going to get C, C sharp, and D. So what I'd like you to see is we could play this note, and it works quite well for a diminished. Yeah? I'd also like to show you that if you were to play this note up front, you would put your first finger on the B, you would put your second finger on the F, you would put your third finger on the D, and then you would put your pinky, the fourth finger, on the B. That would make your triangle here, and then that would give you your 2 fingers. These are really fun to play when they go together. It feels like it's layering right up. Cool. I'll put a link to that for the B diminished from the website so you can see my fingers actually doing it. We will reconvene in 2 weeks, but till that point, try and give yourself a little pat on the back. Doing these scales is hard. The next step is combining la, 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 C, D, 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 D minor, E, 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 E minor, F, 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 F major, G, 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 G major, so on and so forth. The practice that we do from those scales over the top of these chords become apparent because the progressions we did, like the aforementioned 1, 4, 5, 4, you could play all the notes in C major and make up a pretty cool melody over the top. All right, it was great seeing you. We'll see you in a couple weeks and I'll check in to see where you're at. All right, aloha.